A stranger was seated next to a little girl on the airplane when the stranger turned to her and said,
"Let's talk. I am sure that flights are faster if you strike up a conversation with your fellow passenger."
The little girl, who had just opened her book, closed it slowly and asked the stranger,
"What would you like to talk about?"
"Oh, I don't know,"
said the stranger.
"How about nuclear power?"
the girl asked.
"Okay, that could be an interesting topic,"
he said. The girl continues,
"But let me ask you a question first. A horse, a cow, and a deer all eat grass, the same stuff. Yet a deer excretes little pellets, while a cow turns out a flat patty, and a horse produces clumps of dried grass. Why do you suppose that is?"
The stranger thinks about it and says,
I have no idea."
to which the little girl replies,
"Do you really feel qualified to discuss nuclear power when you don't know shit?"
Once upon a time, Count Dracula decided to carry out a competition to see which is the finest bat to stand on his side. So all the bats around the world were honored to take part. The competition rules were really simple. Whichever bat drinks more blood will be the winner. So the first bat goes and comes back after 10 minutes. Her mouth was full of blood. Dracula says,
"Congratulations, how did you do that?"
The bat said, "Do you see that tower? Behind it there's a house. I went in and sucked the blood of all the family,"
Very good.
said Dracula. The second bat goes and comes back after 5 minutes, all her face covered in blood. Astonished, Dracula says,
How did you do that?
The bat replies, "Do you see that tower? Behind it there is a market. I went there and drank the blood of all the people."
"Impressive,"
said Dracula. Now the third bat goes and comes back after just 3 minutes, literally covered in blood from top to toe. Dracula is stunned.
How on earth did you do that?
Dracula asked, and the bat replies, "Do you see this tower?" Dracula replies with a yes, and the bat says, "Well, I didn't."
Two blondes are standing on opposite sides of a lake. One yells to the other, "Hey, how do I get to the other side?" To which the other replies, "You are on the other side."
My kids are nothing but trouble. I told my son, "One day you'll have kids of your own." He said, "So will you."
Two red blood cells fell in love. Alas, it was in vain.
What's the worst advice to give someone with HIV? Stay positive.
Three blondes are celebrating in a bar. The bartender asks the ladies,
"What are you celebrating about?"
The blondes reply, "We finished a puzzle in only 6 months, even though on the box it said 4 to 6 years.
I asked my friend who moved to North Korea, "How is it living there?" He said he can't complain.
Two students were complaining about math class.
I hate math. Well, I really just hate numbers.
What do you mean?
Take 17, for instance. I hate 17. There's nothing good about 17.
What's so bad about 17?
Nothing really. It's just a prime example.
What makes a pirate really angry?
When you take away his pee.
A guy spots a sign outside a house that reads, "Talking dog for sale." Intrigued, he rings the bell, and the owner tells him the dog is in the backyard. The guy walks around back and asks the dog, "Can you talk?"
"Yes," the dog replies.
"So what's your story?" the guy asks, amazed.
The dog looks up and says,
"Well, I discovered my ability to talk when I was young. I wanted to serve my country, so I went to the CIA. They put me in rooms with spies, diplomats, you name it. I traveled the world, overhearing top-secret conversations. After a while, I got tired of jet-setting, so I joined the TSA at the airport to do some undercover work. Eventually, I retired to a quiet life here."
The guy is stunned. He walks back to the owner and asks, "How much for the dog?" $10, the owner replies. $10? That dog is amazing. Why so cheap? The owner shakes his head and says, he is a liar. He didn't do any of that stuff.
A man ordered for a voice-automated robot car that does anything he tells it to do correctly without any error. He got the car and started sending it on errands. He became very proud of what the car could do without mistakes. One day he was home, and his wife told him to tell the car to go and pick the children from school as she was very tired. The man agreed and said to the car,
Car, go and bring my children from school.
The car went and didn't return in time as expected. They knew something must be wrong. Several hours later and no car, the man became apprehensive. He dressed up and got ready to lodge a report at the police station. As he and his wife stepped outside, they saw the car coming with an overload of children. The car parked right in front of them and said,
These are your children, sir.
In the car were their landlady's 2 daughters, their choir mistress's 2 sons, his wife's best friend's daughter, their pastor's son, and their neighbor's 2 sons. The wife said,
Don't tell me all these are your children.
The man asked her calmly,
Can you first tell me why our children are not in the car?
I had been looking for an opportunity to impress my new boss, so I jumped at the chance when he asked if I'd had a good weekend. It was very productive, I said. I taught our Bobby how to ride a bike.
That's great.
He smiled.
How old is he?
10 years old, I replied.
Oh, well, that's not actually impressive at all.
He sneered, walking off. Idiot. They must have smarter dogs where he comes from.
A boss walks into the office and notices that the new assistant is just standing by the shredder, looking confused. The boss asks,
Do you need any help?
The assistant nods and says,
Yes, please. I've been trying to figure out how to use this machine.
The boss, trying to be helpful, says,
It's simple. Here, let me show you.
He takes the stack of papers from the assistant's hand and feeds them into the shredder. As the papers disappear into the machine, the assistant says,
Thanks, but how do I get the copies out?
2 siblings, a brother and sister, are arguing in the back seat during a long car ride. The sister says,
You're so annoying. I wish you were never born.
The brother smirks and replies,
If I wasn't born, who would you blame for everything?
The sister thinks for a moment and then says,
Oh, don't worry. I would still find a way to blame you.
The next joke. During a math class, the teacher asks little Johnny,
If you have 10 chocolate bars and you eat 4, how many do you have left?
Johnny thinks for a moment and then replies,
10.
The teacher, surprised, says,
No, Johnny. If you eat 4, you only have 6 left.
Johnny grins and says,
No, I'm pretty sure I'll still have 10. I just won't admit I ate 4.
You ever notice how politicians always promise the world when they're campaigning? I mean, they make Santa Claus look like an underachiever.
One guy was like, I promise free health care, better schools, and world peace. I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you can't even fix the potholes on my street.
And the handshakes. Oh, the handshakes. You ever see a politician try to shake hands with a baby? It's like watching someone defuse a bomb. They're sweating, the baby's crying, and the parents are like, just take the picture already.
But the debates are my favorite. They spend half the time arguing about who lied more, and I'm like, this isn't a debate. It's a game of political Pinocchio.
One politician said, if elected, I'll make sure everyone has a job. I'm thinking, yeah, because we'll all be busy fact-checking your promises.
But you know what? Despite all of the jokes, I have to give politicians credit. It takes real skill to make so many promises and keep a straight face. They should all win Oscars.
So next time you hear a politician's promise, just remember, it's not about what they say, it's about how good they are at saying it. And let's be honest, we all need a little entertainment.
A husband and wife are celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. The husband asks his wife,
Honey, what would you like for our anniversary? Something special, anything at all.
The wife thinks for a moment and says,
I'd like something that goes from 0 to 100 in about 3 seconds.
The husband smiles and says,
I've got just the thing.
On the morning of their anniversary, the wife wakes up to find a small package on the kitchen table. Excited, she unwraps it to find a bathroom scale.
You ever think mosquitoes have serious confidence issues?
What do you mean? Those little vampires are fearless. They are out here biting anything with a pulse.
Yeah, but imagine one trying to bite an elephant's bum.
Oh wow, that mosquito's got bigger dreams than I do. Shooting for the stars. Well, the elephant's rear end at least.
Right? The mosquito's probably like, man, this is gonna take forever. Do I need a permit for this real estate?
And the elephant probably does not even notice, just strolling along like it's another day at the office.
Exactly. He's probably thinking, life is good, but why does it feel like someone is tickling my butt? Must be the wind. Yeah, definitely the wind.
Haha, classic. Meanwhile, the mosquito finally meets up with his friend and goes, Dude, you won't believe it. I bit an elephant's butt today.
And the friend's like, no way, how was it? The mosquito shakes his head and says, terrible. The guy did not even notice. It was like biting into a giant marshmallow. I was there for an hour and he did not even swat at me. I felt like I was at a bad buffet. Plenty of space, but no satisfaction. And then the mosquito's all proud, telling everyone, yeah, I bit an elephant once, but it was a total pain in the butt. Today, we're diving into the wild world of budget airlines, where the only thing lower than their prices is the chance you'll get there on time.
It's like paying for a flight and getting a crash course in survival skills for free. Who knew turbulence was the in-flight entertainment?
All right, let's get started on why flying with a budget airline feels like you're starring in your own episode of Survivor, the Mile High Edition. Food is so bad, I had to wear clothes with so many pockets, I looked like a human vending machine. I had to hide snacks in random pockets because budget airlines check your pockets like you're smuggling gold.
Flying budget airlines is like sitting in a flying sardine can. No window to see outside, so you just have to imagine the beautiful view you're missing while squished between strangers.
How about seat allocation? Your family gets scattered around the plane like confetti at a party you didn't want to attend.
On a budget airline, forget in-flight entertainment. There's no TV. Just 50 advertisements to read through. It's like a pop-up ad marathon to remind you why your ticket was so cheap. Before takeoff, the flight attendant asked everyone to fasten the ropes attached to the seats. Apparently, seatbelts are a luxury we couldn't afford on this flight.
Flying budget airlines means no legroom. Tall passengers look like human accordions. There's no space for luggage either, so you're balancing one bag on your head, one under your seat, and one on your lap. Honestly, the toilet is more comfortable. At least there's legroom in there. It's so crazy, this one time they checked me in as baggage. I spent half the flight in the cargo hold wondering if I qualified for frequent flyer miles or shipping discounts.
You also get free unlimited cancellations by the airline company. Just as you reach the gate, they announce, "Surprise! Your flight's canceled. Again." It's like playing a never-ending game of airport tag. It's just plain wrong.
At this rate, They may lay off all the pilots and start boarding passengers onto drones. Pretty soon, we'll be flying in formations like migrating birds, hoping our drone doesn't run out of battery mid-air. Having said all that, maybe we're the crazy ones expecting Cadillac service for a Corolla price. It's like hoping for a gourmet meal in a drive-thru. You're just setting yourself up for a greasy bag of disappointment. Why did the banker switch careers?
He lost interest.
Why did the stock market break up with the bond market?
It found something more volatile.
What do you call an investment advisor who only buys coffee stocks?
A ground floor investor.
Why did the investor bring a ladder to the stock market?
To check on his high-yield investments.
Why are stock analysts so good at basketball?
They know how to pivot.
How do you make a small fortune in the stock market?
Start with a large one.
What do you call a bear who invests in the stock market?
A bear market investor.
Why did the portfolio manager take up gardening?
He wanted to hedge his green investments.
Why did the mutual fund break up with the ETF?
It found out it had no real bonds.
Why don't economists tell jokes?
Because they lack interest.
Why do investment bankers love Christmas?
It's the season of giving bonuses.
Why did the banker get into gardening?
Because he wanted to hedge his assets.
Why did the dollar refuse to work out?
It didn't want to lose its strength.
How do you keep a long-term investor in suspense?
I'll tell you in 20 years.
Why was the real estate investor always calm?
Because he knew how to avoid flipping out.
Why don't stock traders play hide and seek?
Because good trades are hard to find.
Why was the bond market always worried?
It had too much debt.
Why did the banker bring a ladder to the meeting?
He wanted to climb the corporate ladder.
Why are financial advisors bad at poker?
They always fold under pressure.
What's an investor's favorite exercise?
A market crunch.
Why do investors love skiing?
Because they know how to navigate a downward slope.
A man finds an old lamp while walking on the beach. He picks it up, rubs it, and out pops a genie. The genie says,
Thank you for freeing me from the lamp. I will grant you 3 wishes, but be warned, whatever you wish for, your worst enemy will receive double.
The man thinks for a moment and says, I wish for $1 million. The genie snaps his fingers and $1 million appear at the man's feet.
But remember,
the genie says,
your worst enemy just received $2 million.
The man frowns but decides to make his second wish. I wish for a huge mansion on a private island. Again, the genie snaps his fingers and a mansion appears on a beautiful island.
But remember,
the genie warns,
your worst enemy now has 2 mansions on 2 private islands.
Frustrated, the man thinks hard about his last wish. After a long pause, a sly smile spreads across his face.
I wish,
the man says,
to be beaten half to death.
What's an Olympian's favorite type of music? Heavy metal, because they're all about the gold.
Why did the gymnast bring string to the Olympics? She wanted to tie for first place.
Why did the Olympic swimmer bring a pencil to the pool? To draw some attention.
Why did the archer bring extra feathers to the competition? In case she needed to wing it.
Why don't basketball players ever get tired at the Olympics? Because they always have extra bounce in their step.
How do weightlifters greet each other at the Olympics? I've got your back.
Why did the boxer bring a map to the ring? Because he didn't want to get lost in the fight.
Why did the synchronized swimmers bring spoons to practice? Because they wanted to stir things up in the water.
Here are some shower thoughts about trading stocks. The stock market is the only place where you can buy something and be thrilled when the price drops.
You know, you're a true trader when you celebrate a 0.5% gain like you won the lottery.
The stock market can make you feel like a genius one day and a fool the next.
In trading, patience is key, but panic is inevitable.
Every stock trader has that one stock they regret selling, and that other one they regret buying.
Day traders experience more emotions in 1 hour than most people do in a week.
Trading stocks is like gambling, except you tell yourself it's an investment.
The best stock tips usually come when it's too late to act on them.
In the stock market, timing is everything, and you're usually late.
Buying high and selling low, the most common trading strategy, but the worst one.
The stock market is like a roller coaster, thrilling, unpredictable, and not for the faint-hearted.
If you, I'm sure, really good at trading stocks, people will call you an investor. If not, a gambler.
The stock market is where people with money meet people with experience, and by the end, the people with experience have the money.
Stocks tend to do well the moment after you sell them.
The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Why did Facebook go to therapy? It could not stop living in the past and stalking its ex-friends.
Why did Twitter break up with Instagram? Because it couldn't handle all the filtered lies and wanted raw, unedited drama.
Why did Instagram take a cooking class? To improve its feed.
Why did Snapchat apply for a job? Because it heard the gig was temporary and it loves things that disappear quickly.
Why did Facebook get a job at the cemetery? It loves digging up old memories.
Why did Twitter get a speeding ticket? Because it couldn't stop tweeting in real-time traffic.
Why did Instagram become an artist? Because it always has the best frames. Why did TikTok go to school? To master the art of short attention spans.
Why doesn't Snapchat ever tell secrets? Because it can't keep anything longer than 24 hours.
Why did Facebook start a detective agency? It's great at finding out everything about everyone's past.
Why did Twitter get a job in broadcasting? Because it's a natural at live commentary on everything.
Why did Instagram get promoted? Because it's always focused on making the perfect image. Why did TikTok go viral at the doctor's office? It couldn't stop producing short, infectious videos.
Why did Snapchat break up with its long-term girlfriend? It's just not into long-lasting relationships.
Why did Facebook bring a ladder to the party? Because it wanted to see everyone's statuses from a higher perspective. Look at me. I'm on top of the world.
Why did Twitter join a band? Because it loves making everything a trending hit. Hashtag Rockstar Life.
Why did Instagram go to the gym? To work on its core. Filters! Sweat, smile, snap, repeat. Why did TikTok apply for a magician job? Because it can make a whole hour disappear in just 60 seconds. Abracadabra. You're hooked.
Why did Snapchat win the hide-and-seek championship? Because it disappears faster than you can say, "Where did it go? Peekaboo, I'm gone!"